Welcome everybody. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome to something new. We're gonna attempt this and see how this goes. For those of you who haven't met me yet or don't know, my name is Stephen Gaiman. I'm a licensed aircraft mechanic. Live and work here in the great state of Alabama at Roll Tide. And this channel is merely going to serve the purpose of a lot of things. We're going to cover a lot of different topics and a lot of different events and so on and so forth. With me here, I am accompanied by a very special individual who some of you will get to know over the course of this series. Who might you be?
Hey everybody, what's going on? That sun's bright right now.
So, turn so you don't have to look in the sun.
There you go.
So,
there you go.
This is El Father. He is the person who decided this would be a good idea. So what?
It's a good idea.
So what exactly do we have sitting?
I think it's a great idea. I think it's a perfect idea for a father and a son to be able to do together. I think it's pretty awesome that we have the opportunity to do a project to restore this 1974 Cessna 172-M. It's an M Mike model. Just so happens this airplane is the very airplane that I learned to fly in officially, and that I soloed in with just over 4 hours of instruction. Back in 1976 I started flying, and in early 77 I soloed, and I got my private license that year.
FAA, please do not watch this video. Hey,
I ain't worried about the FAA. Everything I do is legitimate. Okay, hadn't had any problems there. So the airplane has just over 2,700 hours on it total time, and has no accident history whatsoever. It has been right here in Atmore, Alabama for most of its life. It was almost brand new when it was delivered here, and a lot of people in this area are familiar with this Skyhawk. It has graced the pattern here and all over Alabama and northwest Florida for many years. Sadly, the previous owner of it was the FBO operator here in Atmore, guy that I dearly am indebted to and appreciate, because he gave me a chance when I was a teenager, and I got to be the airport bum. Actually, I wasn't a bum. I worked my tail off over there 6 days a week from daylight to dark. We had 3 spray planes going, and plus I was doing the fueling and oil and wash and wax, and any cut grass. I used to push a lawnmower up and down the runway, cutting grass around the runway lights. But I grew up with this airplane. Robert Earl Godwin gave me that opportunity, and in time the spraying business went away, and Robert Earl and Atmore Flying Service were no longer here at the airport, and this airplane sat largely unused for over 10 years, probably 15 years or more. It was maintained up until about a little over 10 years ago. It was kept current, and it was annualed and serviced and everything. But at that point, then it was just there sitting, and it was outside. Fortunately, one of the previous mechanics had treated the airplane with anti-corrosive ACF 50, and once we got into the airplane, and we'll maybe in another edition we can show some of the pictures of what the airplane actually looked like when we went and looked at it the first time. I remember you and I went, and we went, didn't know quite what we were going to find, took the cowling off, and there was birds' nest all over in the engine and inside the airplane. It was like a rat was down under the floor there, and there was just debris everywhere, and it looked like a disaster. But as we started the process of cleaning it, fortunately, the use of that ACF 50, years ago, definitely made the difference for this airplane. I believe fully that if they hadn't used that ACF 50, this airplane probably would not be valid to even restore like we're doing. So we're going to show you some of the things that we've done. There's been a lot of elbow grease. People ask, how did you get it so clean? We went down under the floor. There's about that much space there and just a few little access holes, and you just have to really just get in there and work hard, scrub it. I used mineral spirits. I sprayed some brake cleaner in places, but then I used mainly mineral spirits and some Scotch pads, and I scrubbed, and I would rinse it down, and then I eventually vacuumed it and cleaned it, and it looks pretty good under there now. I've got most of the debris and the corrosion gone. The bottom, not really a lot of corrosion. We have got into the interior of the tail now. We're in the cabin. Up under the headliner, no surprise, that's usually not taken out in an annual. And that's usually where you're going to find some skin corrosion. And yeah, there was surface corrosion there. So we have worked to clean that corrosion already and have applied some zinc chromate to that. Went through the tail. People say, how in the world did you do that? Well, you just do it. And got in there with Scotch pads. I had drill with a wire wheel. And again, where the corrosion mostly was at, Stephen, was up under the bottom of the top skin going down the tail. So, I guess in the process of time being outside, humidity, sublimation takes place, water ends up under the airplane. People think water doesn't get in the airplane. When it's manufactured, there's holes in the bottom of the airplane for one reason, and that's to let the water drain out. So you need to check your holes and make sure that they are cleared and open. Got that corrosion taken care of, and I've treated it now with Corrosion X, and I went over the seams and put Corrosion X over that. I did, by the way, after I scrubbed it using mineral spirits, I did use some Carbon X. I used some Dawn soap, and I washed it down. I absolutely scrubbed it down, and I washed it and drained it, dried it. Then after that dried, I went in and I went to each of the seams and I used Corrosion X to the point that Corrosion X is running outside the airplane.
We'll get to it in a second. He's giving away all our secrets, and I'm gonna put a pause to him.
Right.
But just for a side note,
you want to see the inside?
So, no, the airplane did not get here like this. Obviously, for those of you who know, this is where the engine goes. But the engine's not there anymore because the engine's right there.
Yeah,
we'll get
about that engine.
We'll get onto that engine in a second. Well, Hank,
we'll get to
that in a second.
Look at that.
That will come later on. But we have done a good amount of work so far to get this thing prepped and ready. We do have a lot of work left ahead of us, but we're getting there. We're starting. We're gonna kind of give you a quick look on the inside, how far we've gotten and things we're working on. And kind of just give you an insight of what it's like to restore a 172 Skyhawk.
Yep, we haven't had a lot of real big surprises. I can get a light and put it in there, and you can show them. You can see the panel there. We've taken out all the instruments. What'd you do with them?
I didn't do anything with them. What'd you do with them?
Hey, you can show down in these holes. You can see. I've been using Corrosion X. I've got to get in there and wipe it down, but I have cleaned severely down under there. And I'm cleaning up in here. You can see where we clean kind of, this is the side I've worked on. I've got to get over on that side. A lot of what you're seeing up here is the old contact cement that they use when they put the insulation in there. They use that contact cement. Also, they put some rubber strips in there. And so I'm clearing the old contact cement, trying to get it down, and we'll clean that well, and then I'll use some zinc chromate, and it'll be zinced over. I've already done some zinc chromating, and if you see the wetness of it, that's Corrosion X, by the way. But I did the zinc chromate before I did the corrosion X. Can you see in the tail back there? You can see a little bit about what it was like there. Good thing is we worked on and buffed the paint. What do you think about it?
Looks like paint.
Paint looks like it's pretty good shape. But we got some work to do yet. A lot of work to do. The windows. What about the windows?
I don't know. You tell me about the windows.
Yeah, they were busted. You can see some tape on those windows up there. And the front windshield was cracked and it was bad. So we've got to replace all the windows. That's going to be fun.
So when we'll do a separate video showing pictures of when we found it and the condition it was in. But like you were saying, all the windows were heavily damaged.
Tell them this carpet right here. Carpet, all the carpet was just horrible. And tell them what the carpet looks like now.
Why don't you tell them?
Well, we took the carpet, it comes from the cabin, and I took it and got a couple of little boxes of, what do they call it?
Boxes.
Rit dye from Wally World. And I took that carpet and I soaked it in that dye, and it looks freaking brand new. It looks awesome. So that's what this will do. I'm not sure how we're going to do that and keep the Rit dye from getting up into the upholstery. This is in good condition. It's just that the color in the carpet has faded, and we want to try and treat that.
So all in all, we've got a good start. We've got a lot of work ahead of us, but we're excited. This is a brand new venture for both of us to do a complete restoration. But yeah, just a kind of quick introduction to what this channel will consist of, and
so what are you gonna do on this engine?
what we hope to do.
What is this?
So we're gonna touch on that. We're gonna touch on that in another video because that deserves a whole nother video.
This engine's in trouble because there's oil everywhere down here.
But
What's the deal?
Something happened when we got it on the stand, and we'll discuss that eventually.
Hey, look at those seats right there. They're pretty good.
So, welcome guys. We are excited to share this experience with y'all.
Look at how clean that firewall got. That thing cleaned right up.
Hopefully y'all choose to stick around as we bat heads back and forth to get this thing up and flying. So
the deal is that we're gonna get this airplane flying, and then Stephen will get his private pilot license in it. I got to get my instructor certificate reinstated actually, and then he will fly this and use it to build some hours.
he says that, but secretly he doesn't know I already have my private pilot license. But
Right.
We are excited to get this bird back in the air, and we'll go more in depth, and we'll probably do a Q&A video eventually.
Right here. What does that do?
Point in case he's over here grabbing random things.
What does this do?
Cause yeah, typical pilots don't know how planes work. So, anyways, thank you guys. If you wouldn't mind, please leave
Roll Tide, everybody.
Roll Tide. Please leave a like and a comment if you want, and if you feel like sticking around, make sure to turn on that little bell for notifications, and definitely hit that subscribe button so you know and can come watch new videos as they come out. Thank you guys.